So an article came out on Amazon.com for the 21 renovation projects that will actually hurt your home's resale value. I want to go through these one by one and give my opinion on whether or not I agree with what they're saying. I'm Ouzas, I'm a realtor in the Greater Toronto area, and I'm on a quest to get to 1,000 subscribers. Go ahead, subscribe below, and if you ever want to book in a call with me, click on that first link in the description down below. Let's go through number one of 21, luxury bathroom. This is an interesting take of a full-on standalone copper tub. Although upgraded bathroom can add value to your home, steer clear of going too high-end if you're planning on selling soon. A freestanding or whirlpool tub may be your pride and joy, but a buyer may see it as a waste of space, according to Realtor.com. These are all from different sites across the board. Overly opulent bathrooms definitely fit in the category of projects that will actually hurt your home's resale value. I would tend to agree with this. I think that if you're going to renovate your bathroom for the purpose of selling, you're going to think of two things. Number one, if you're a house and maybe you're considering putting in a standalone shower, will the next buyer or the next person to move in need a tub? For example, if they have kids, the tub might be a very important feature to them. You're also turning your bathroom from a 4-piece to a 3-piece if that's the case. I would also say color selection and quality is definitely important here. So you want to be on the little more of the neutral side if you're renovating solely for the purpose for selling. If you're renovating to live there, then do what you like. If you're going to enjoy it for many years to come. Although that being said, just keep in mind that if it's too much to your taste and too out there with some of your design choices, it may affect the next buyer's decision when it comes time to put an offer on your property. Number two, bold or dark paint color. I would actually disagree that this hurts home value depending on the finishes and fixtures. I've seen dark colors look amazing in some properties if they're ultra modern and that dark color kind of fits the bill. I would say this one I don't totally agree with, although I do find that properties that are freshly painted and nice and bright do help. However, those dark color accent walls and dark colors in certain rooms like offices look pretty classy if done well. Tacky tile, definitely something that may hurt your home's future value. You want to make sure that tiles are installed well by a professional tiler. This goes on to say that while experts agree that hard surfaces improve your home's appeal and add more value than carpets, room-to-room consistency rates just as high. And this is from HomeLight. I would agree that tacky tile might not be the best selling feature when it comes to putting an upgrade in your property. If you're going to add new tile, make sure it's neutral and make sure that's consistent throughout different areas of the home. I don't necessarily think that low quality paint will hurt the value of your home if it's freshly painted right before going to the market. That being said, if you do paint your property with low quality paint, you're going to live there for maybe 6 to 8 months before putting it on the market. That low quality paint is not overly resistant to wear and tear, any stains, or if anybody brushes up against it, that kind of stuff. So your high quality paint, you'll be able to wash or magic eraser some of those spots, which will keep it looking fresh. If it is low quality paint, you will see a lot of marks, but if it's done right before selling and it's better than not doing it at all, I do think it's still worth the investment to get your property painted before going to market. Too much wallpaper. This is an interesting one. It says that too much wallpaper and texture can be overwhelming to some home buyers and they just see it as another project to add to the list. I remember in my parents' house, we took the wallpaper out of probably 10 rooms when I was growing up, and it was an absolute process. That being said, wallpaper has made a bit of a comeback as of late. I think that if it's done tastefully and it's not super crazy or a super crazy color, like maybe if your wall tones are gray and you have maybe an off gray wallpaper, that could look pretty good. Just really depends on how it's done, and you want to make sure that it's done really well as well. You want to see a lot of seams. It's really important to choose a wallpaper that will complement the house versus something that will look, I mean, this bathroom looks pretty interesting, but maybe not the wallpaper I would select for my property. Overdone Kitchen. Buyers do want upgraded kitchens, and it says here, but renovating your kitchen high-end won't guarantee you'll get your money back when it's time to sell. Major kitchen remodel typically returns around 59% of your investment, according to CNBC. Focus more on worn, dated parts of the kitchen, flooring, countertops, mid-range appliances. I do agree with that. If you are renovating your kitchen to sell, then you might not need to get the highest end of appliances. However, that is very dependent on the property that you own and the location of the property. If you're in some areas of Toronto that do command the high price points, buyers looking in those areas typically want high-end finishes. So if you're going to renovate the kitchen just for the sake of renovating it, sometimes it might even be worth the time or investment to get it done if it's not going to be high-end in those type of properties. That being said, if you do have a condo downtown and it has, for example, laminate countertops, it might be worth switching that out for a quartz countertop and getting the cabinets repainted or resurfaced, that will go a long way visually, and for those buyers coming in, it will look much better than the old wood color and laminate countertops that may be there originally. Carpet everywhere. New carpet can be an inexpensive upgrade, but hardwood definitely adds more bang for your buck. I would agree with this. I find that unless the carpet is brand new, typically buyers don't necessarily look for carpet that has been worn out from the current sellers. If you do have the opportunity to replace the carpets or even remove it if you have nice hardwood below, and maybe even if it's adding a high quality laminate at the very least, that could be a good upgrade to do before selling and definitely appeal to more buyers when it comes time to sell. Huge bedrooms. I'm not sure why this is on the list. I think most buyers would want huge bedrooms. That being said, this says if you combine two small bedrooms to make one bedroom, you may turn off buyers looking for more bedrooms. That I definitely agree with. If you're turning a 3-bedroom house into a 2-bedroom house, for example, because you want a bigger primary bedroom and maybe even add that walk-in closet, going from a 3-bed to a 2-bed is actually detrimental when it comes time to selling your property. If you're going to put the property back on the market after converting it to a 2-bedroom, I'd actually recommend converting it back to a 3-bedroom. Adding in that 3rd bedroom, even if it's not super big, it will appeal to more buyers looking to get into that 3-bedroom house. Textured ceilings and walls. First thing that come to mind is those popcorn ceilings. Now, in a perfect world, you can get rid of those and just smooth out the ceilings. It is a messy process, and I've seen some pretty cool tools on Instagram that show that there's no mess. However, I've never personally tried them. If you have tried them, actually throw it in the comment if it works, because if it does work, it might be something I'd consider as well. If you do have a chance to get those ceilings smoothed out, definitely could appeal to more buyers. That being said, I find if the popcorn ceiling is not super worn or super yellow, if your walls are freshly painted, it might take a little bit of the tension off the ceilings. It might not be as big of a factor as it may seem. 3-season porch, sunroom. Remodeling magazine notes that the cost of the average sunroom is about $70,000. I believe these are American dollars, yet the resale returns a little more than $33,000 to the homeowner. That's pretty interesting. I do think that if the sunroom is there and it's done in a way that makes sense for the exact home, it could be a good feature for somebody who wants somewhere to use 3 seasons of the year. That being said, if someone's not looking for a sunroom and they just want the open porch, you may turn off those buyers looking for maybe a back deck or something of the likes. Something to consider depending on your property. Home theater. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments on if you think a home theater adds value to the home. I do think that if you do have the space for it, it's a great add-on, especially if you're into tech. And this does say if you're into tech, you could go with upgrades with broader appeal, such as smart thermostats and security systems. Home theater doesn't really apply to either of those. If you have the space for it, go for it. It's a nice area to watch movies, things like that. But I would make sure to keep the room in a state where if somebody doesn't want the home theater next, they could turn it into maybe a gym or something like that. Maybe adding the carpet and the panels like in this photo to make it actually look like a theater might not be the most appealing of sorts. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on those projects that could affect your home's resale value. Drop a comment down below, like and subscribe. I'm Michael Ouzas. Thanks for watching.